Albert out of New Jersey. Albert,
Yes.
welcome back. I know you called yesterday, and I couldn't talk to you because of time. And so welcome back. Go ahead.
Yes. I told my girl yesterday what you said as far as,
So let me just say,
kind of
for those
living
who don't know, Albert, you live with this woman, or she live with you?
we got an apartment together in May.
Okay, so Albert lived with this woman. They live together. She has a son already. She is not listening, if I remember correctly. And we were talking about that yesterday, folks, but I ran out of time. So you say you told her, and what did she say?
She said to me that she started to get the impression yesterday, over time, that I didn't like her son. And I explained to her, the situation is I used to be her son's behavioral assistant, and then we fell for each other because she liked the work that I was doing with him. But then he developed callous feelings towards me because he feels like I betrayed him because I'm now his mother's boyfriend. So sometimes he's been very oppositional when and telling him to do this or telling him to do that. Now, Mom is responding. Like yesterday, he got a butt whooping for how he was talking to her, because he was very, nasty to her. But
You whooped him or she whooped him?
Huh?
If you can,
No, not.
you can hear. So did you whoop him or she whooped him?
No, I didn't whoop him. His mother whooped him, would have got the belt yesterday because she was talking very nasty to her.
And did you rebuke her for doing that?
No, I didn't because I thought it was disciplinary. It was disciplinary.
No, he's treated her the way she's treated him. She get it back what she's given to him.
Well, I'm trying to introduce the idea because a lot of people out here, they don't really understand. Like when I brought to her the ideology that you provided to us that all anger is not good,
Right.
She was like, but there is righteous anger. I'm like, no. I'm like, I think what Jesse is trying to tell us is that y'all sinners don't have the right to be angry about anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Does.
And no one does. And for me, and I've heard other men come on the show, come to church, and they say, yo, I've been beta. You know what I'm saying? Because you tell us that anger stuff is beta. Some men catch on, I think this is God leading me to this, and I listened to what you asked Geno Jennings. I'm a very hard follower of Geno Jennings.
Amazing. What?
So
let me ask you a question about something. When she said that, when you said that her son felt like you betrayed him by getting involved with his mother like that, was he wrong by that?
I don't know. Maybe I feel like if it's God's will, you know what I mean? I didn't try to push myself onto his mother so much, because I was willing to walk away. If she didn't want me to continue their services and she didn't want to be involved with me, I was fully okay with stepping away.
Well, why didn't you walk away then?
Well, it didn't work out that way. It was almost a divine that God didn't really allow us to separate. Because at one point I had said, you know what? I'm going to move on and go get another case. And then God was like, no, not so fast, I guess. And then, slowly but surely, she was like, let's go out on a date and go to her sister's birthday.
But
and
why do you think God would put you in the life of this boy like that, knowing that children don't identify with step parents? All you did was made him angry, and now you're calling it God put you together. The devil put you with her, not God. God doesn't do things like that. That was your ego and her ego, which didn't care anything about the boy. That's why you let her whoop the boy, didn't say anything. You were counseling with the boy, then you got involved with his mother. He's disappointed, but you still won't stop the relationship with the mother because it's all about you and it's all about her, and neither one of you care about the boy.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. We have built a life. We've started to build a life with each other, and we got a 3-bedroom.
Speak up a little bit.
18. You hear me better?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm telling you the truth, Jesse. Look, we live together. We got the 3-bedroom. We're paying $1,800 out here. Before we moved into this apartment, is living in her mother's basement. Her mother got like 4 bedrooms down there. So, and I got a son myself.
How old is he?
6.
Wow. Are you
So
going
we tried to merge. And I need a woman to help me, raise my son. Just being honest.
Why you need a woman to help you raise your 6-year-old son?
Well, because, to have that, that secondary parent that could kind of, give me some input as to, things that maybe I'm not doing or things I could do better.
But if you listen to the woman, you're going to suffer. She doesn't have the answer. Your answer should come from God, and the answer for the woman come from the man who gets it from God. You don't need a woman to help you raise your 6-year-old son. You need God to help you. The woman does not have the answer.
Yeah.
Are you going to send her back to the basement?
It's kind of hard to do that now because we've already signed this year lease.
Well, you can stay there, but send her back to the basement.
I can't pay it on my own, Jesse.
Get a second job.
I have 2 jobs.
I'm sorry?
I said I do have 2 jobs.
Oh.
But, just be real. It helps to have a partner in this lifetime. My car goes bad. My car is going bad right now. I need help.
But you trust in everything but God. You don't think that he would take care of that?
He has. He has got me out of a lot of hard, tough situations.
But you walked into another.
I didn't want to refuse help. I didn't want to refuse help that maybe divinely this is what I'm thinking. I didn't want to refuse help that was divinely brought to me.
But it was divinely brought to you by the devil. This woman won't even obey you.
But you know what? I just want to ask you something. Sometimes women aren't aware of the basis of their thinking, as far as like women having Satan as their natural father, right?
Right.
Because of what happened in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So sometimes there needs to be some counseling in that type of understanding that you can't raise your son by yourself because you'll do more harm than good. And, sometimes I use one of your words. You were like, Tracy, you could be very controlling. And that right there is, you not allowing me to lead the situation. So I would like to think in the back of my mind that if she had the proper counseling from you and she was a little bit more subservient to the man's role, because she, like I was telling you yesterday, she goes to a church where the pastor has his wife preaching. And I led, huh?
That's funny.
That is. I'm telling you the truth. I went to Christian school, and I've gone to other churches in my lifetime. I'm 33 years old. Just had a birthday yesterday. I've never had a church. I've never been to a church where there's been a woman pastor.
Yeah. Thank God.
So, yeah, until, I met her. And I'm trying to, tell her, and then what was crazy is her friend that she prays with every morning just last week told her, Fanya, I told you that those churches with the women leading or pastoring are one of the churches of the last days.
That's for sure. But let me ask you this, Albert, because of time. Where is her son's father?
Look, man, Jesse, I didn't let this man come in my home. I have an open policy. I don't have any hatred in my heart.
Right.
I don't know where this guy is. I don't even know how much time he actually spends with Gio every week. Barely any. I went to court and fought for mine. I get my son every weekend. So I don't really, you know what I'm saying? When men try and tell me, oh, my mom, she keeps me away from my son, I don't really got time to hear that. So, because you can fight for your son.
How do you feel about knowing that you and his mother are destroying him?
What have I done?
You're in the way. You're standing between he and his mother, and he's not getting the love from his father. His mother doesn't care about him. Now you're involved, and you're causing him hatred as well. You're destroying him, man.
What can I do? I'm trying. I swear I don't have no hate in my heart. I'm trying my best to bring his father into his life. He wasn't even talking to his father. His mother put his father on birth on.
You should get out of his life so that he can forgive you for what you've done. Can you hold on, Albert? Hold on. And Albert trying to work out the situation with this woman that he's with. Albert.
Yes, sir.
And so, why you want this woman to get help for what reason?
Well, I wanted, for me personally, I felt as though her son. Listen, before I came in the picture, Jesse, to tell you the truth, her son was very bad in school. Okay, that's why I was even there in the first place as a behavioral assistant, because her son was getting suspended from school frequently, and was getting, having those behavioral issues in the house. When I got there, she had people living in the basement with her. It was a very, not the best environment that you want to bring your child up in. So it seemed like when I got in the picture, all of those other spirits dispelled out of the way, because this child was booty bouncing and he was acting as though he was possessed. He don't do none of that anymore, because that was one of the first things I called out as his behavioral assistant. I'm like, why is your son booty bouncing? Why is your son acting like he's demonically possessed? He loves Hitler.
But Albert, he's still possessed. He hates you now. And he hates his mother. Had you continued to work with him without getting involved with his mother, you could have still helped him. But it
was helping. He did well in school that semester.
Right. But you spoil that by getting involved with his mother in that way. And now it's about you and her. It's not about him at all. She's whooping him. You're not there for him anymore. You're there for you. And it just created more problem for the son.
Well, I am here for him. I did buy him a dog.
If you buy him a dog, ain't the answer. Being there like that is not the answer. The answer is you should do it the way you were doing it before. Apologize to the son. you know what? I should have never gotten involved with your mother. I am sorry about that. I was wrong. Stop being involved with her in that way, and then see if you still can work with him in the right way. You see that he's angry because of what you've done, but yet you're willing to sell his soul to the devil for your own fulfillment.
Is there a way that maybe he could, because he's not rooted in love,
and neither are
and
you.
And you do say that anger is of the devil,
Right?
Now, is that something that he would have to work out with his soul, as far as dispelling the anger, because he is going to grow into a man one day, and no matter what the situation is, anger is never good.
But his mother's angry.
For no reason.
His mother's angry, and so are you. Because if you were not angry, you would stop what you're doing. You wouldn't be involved in his mother with his mother like that. You would think of him and not yourself.
But wait. I'm not. Well, why? How are we angry? I'm not angry.
No, but then why don't you see that this boy resent you for what you've done, and that you need to stop it with his mother and become his counselor again for whatever, and stop the crowd, let the mother go and do what she's going to do, and so he'll see that you're there to help him get his life together.
I mean, we didn't come so far, Jesse.
But
tell you the truth, we've come so far.
But that's not a reason to turn around. Because you're going, what you don't realize right now, you're digging a deep hole into hell for yourself. And don't see it. Because you've come so far, you got an apartment with this woman, you looking to her to help you in some kind of way, you're putting too much faith in this woman, and this woman whooping her son, and you didn't correct her for that. This woman got problems herself. She can't help you. And you're digging a hole for yourself.
Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. My mother has spanked me in the past. So let me tell you, some realizations that you bring are things that maybe people didn't take a deeper look into in their own upbringing. So maybe I've been misled about a lot of things.
That's why you were the woman that's whooping her son, because your mama whooped you.
Yeah, my mom did spank me.
And now you were the woman that's doing the same thing to her son.
I didn't know it was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth.
I
didn't know anger was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, you know what I mean? This is realizations that these are things I need to implement. I need to change them. And now that you're telling me these things, I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I promise I can do it.
Yeah.
I don't have no hatred in my heart. I'm trying to find the right way to live.
Let me tell you this, and then I got to run because of time, and so many people want to get in. I would suggest that you focus on you right now, because you're not seeing what's going on. Do the silent prayer, watch those thoughts, and you'll see what's really happening with you. And seeing that, it will show you how to get out of this situation in the right way. Because right now you're going down the wrong track, man. It's going to destroy you. This woman is going to destroy you. You need her, and any man that needs a woman will be destroyed by that woman.
Now, when you say I need her, I mean, I love her love. She is a good mother and a
no
good
such
woman.
thing. Good mother, She doesn't have love. Women don't have love. She doesn't, she's whooping her son. That's not love. And she's going to this church with a preacher woman.
So what should she do instead of whooping?
She need to get herself right so she can be right, and he will be whatever she is. She needs to apologize.
Now we come across so many situations that he be, he's not responsible.
It's not about him. It's about the adults that are around him. And I got to run, but do the silent prayer. Let me know how that goes.
I will.
But
thank you very much.
And Albert, it's not about the boy. It's about you and her. And you need to be looking at you so you can see what you're getting into with her. then you understand the son. But the son
Okay,
is
and I
subject
want
to
to
you
say something.
guys.
I want to say something too. I didn't know that it was bad to be angry before, and and I did what you told me to do as far as apologizing to him
Right.
for coming out with anger. I apologized to him yesterday, and he was like, he said, "Okay, I accept your apology, but I don't." But he still was like, "Oh, I don't forgive you," or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But you said, like you said on the show, the forgiveness isn't for the other person.
But
it's
he's
for
a
you
kid,
to
man.
get
He
right
can't.
with God.
I know, but he's a child. He can't help himself right now. When he become of old, he become of age, he'll start working on himself. But you didn't change
Right.
anything. You're still dealing with his mother. If you had said to him, you know what, I'm sorry for getting involved with your mother. I was wrong. I'm moving out, or sending her back to her basement. I guarantee you it would have gotten better between you and the boy. You could help him again get his life together. But you just said, I'm sorry, but you're still with his mother.
I know it is kind of a move where we are, kind of. I know what you're saying.
And the only thing that's hard, you're emotionally tied up with this woman. You have made her
You're
your
right.
God, and it's hard to walk away from your false God.
I mean, she isn't my God, but
If she wasn't your God,
build
you'd
a
be able
life
to just
together.
walk away from it.
I know I'm leaving her here stuck in this 3-bedroom apartment.
No, put her back in the basement with her mama.
The mama already moves people in to where we was at.
But you were staying there too?
Yes, I'll tell you the truth. Yes,
What the? Man, you got it all backwards. You're not supposed to be living with a woman like that. You're not supposed to be relying on her at all. She's supposed to be relying on you. Not this situation. She shouldn't be involved with you at all because she got a child already. But you got it backward, buddy. And I understand it.
So women who have children aren't allowed to ever love again. I mean, to ever be with a man again.
She need to focus on this child. She need to overcome the mistakes she made. And if it meant for her to be with one, God will make that happen. But this ain't happening in this situation. This woman is not even obeying you. But listen, I got to run, Albert. Call me again, but do the silent prayer. Let me know how it goes.
Maybe you could talk to her and tell her where she's going wrong.
She doesn't ready. She's not ready.
She's not ready.
She's not. You're trying to get her right for you. You're not trying to get her right because you want her to have a right life for herself. You're trying to make it right so you can be with her, and that's not the way you point people back to God.
I just was feeling that maybe there's something you can do to intervene to make the situation correct.
I can by telling her back to go back home.
In the dark.
I'm sorry?
There are a lot of people who are in the dark, and maybe she doesn't see herself and how maybe she needs to be more of a understanding person to her man and her role.
But she does see that. She doesn't want that, man. She's not ready for that. She doesn't want that. And she's going to give anybody hell that try to make her see it. She got to be ready to see it. She doesn't want to see it.
And how do you know that? How do you feel that so easily? Like, how do you see that?
Because you would be trying to make her see it if she was ready to see it.
Mm. Well, then, maybe I'm making mistakes too.
You are. I'm trying to tell you that.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't rule out that maybe a family therapy could do us some justice. As far as you being the therapist, as far as you telling us where maybe everybody's role and how, when we come across these circumstances, what is the proper response?
The proper response to get out of it when you see it's a circumstance and get out of it. But listen, if you want to set up a counseling session by FaceTime or something, just call the office or go to rebuildingtheman.com and set it up, all right?
And I could bring them?
Yeah, on FaceTime, yeah.
Okay.
All right?
But I'll probably end up calling back to the show to give you an update on what's going on, too.
Absolutely, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome.